Hello, welcome back to the Meta Call. This is Smitty from 60cards.com. This is round two. I can't remember. I think this is an 8-man queue. It possibly could be a 2-man queue, but this is game 2 versus blue-white control matchup. I just wanted to go over kind of how it goes. And despite I'm showing you one deck, and everyone is always like, no, you didn't show enough. This isn't even the main deck. Well, there's a million decks in Modern, and the point I'm showing you is how Blood Moon interacts with in anything non-basic, and most lists literally only have 4 to 5 basics, if that. So anyways, we're going to show you game 2 here. This hand's pretty hateful, but not much gas, but because it has both Blood Moon and a choke, it's definitely worth keeping. So I go ahead and do keep it. Pull a Sulfur Elemental, and Sulfur Elemental's solid just because it's a split second and flash, so you can go end a turn and kind of force them to possibly use removal on your dude on your turn, so then you can freely cast something like Blood Moon. So it has interactions, but primarily it is for the Martyr matchup because it kills every single dude, but it always works well against control. So another Blood Moon, which is very solid. I mean, plus a Magus. We're definitely going to lock down his lands, and he's yet to play a basic. Surprise. That's the point of the deck. The meta is just set up this way. Even if the meta adapted, I mean, obviously it wouldn't adapt around this one deck that little old Smitty's making, right? But it even, by the way, certain people say it only stops Merlyra or Pod or whatever and Jund. But I mean, look at this, blue-black decks use all blue-black lands like crazy. The only decks it doesn't really hit is Mono Blue Fairies, Storm. The Exarch Twin deck doesn't hit very well, but we do have the Shaman that makes it so they take a damage each time they do the activation, so they have to answer that. Game 1, Game 2 we get Choke and Combust, and that's pretty easy matchup overall. So the point is, there's maybe 10% of the meta the deck doesn't hit, and you know, I mean 20% that it maybe only kind of affects, and then the rest it just completely locks out. Anyways, back to the game. He clicks. I don't cast anything in response. I don't care what he takes here. Obviously, we have 2 of everything that matters. So, I mean, he took a choke because I had the 2 Blood Moons. I rip another Blood Moon. But what was great there is he tapped out for click, which left us freely open to cast Blood Moon. So the only out he has is enchantment removal, but he doesn't even have a basic to cast it yet. So he knows we have the bolt, and his click's gonna die. We rip a Goyf, which is probably the best pull we could have got there. I mean, a 3/4 now that he can't answer until he draws something pretty powerful. I mean, Goyf is if you can use him, go for it. He's strong. So here I think the idea was instead of just casting another Blood Moon, which should have been the play, as you'll see in a minute, because he'd have to answer 2. And as far as I know in Modern, these decks, especially in white, isn't going to be able to answer 2 Blood Moons. I know blue has the bounce spell that can bounce both. I can't remember the name of it, but I doubt a blue-white deck's playing that. They just play straight removal, since it's not really a tempo deck. But my thinking was end of turn Sulfur Elemental and really put him on a clock here because he's yet to draw a basic. But the safer play that would have really locked him out of the game for sure would have been a second Blood Moon here. So because he did get the planes, I go Sulfur Elemental, and he's just gonna let go through, and I'm gonna tap out, and ideally a Blood Moon here would have been smart, a lot smarter than the choke. I wasn't thinking about enchantment removal at this point, which was misplay, because now he gets all his lands, and he gets a turn to destroy all my guys with leak mana up, supposedly, but we got to go for it anyways. I think I might have even gotten Magus here, which is another misplay. Still learning the deck, and that's what happens when you build a new deck. Okay, so I go Blood Moon, which I think is correct, because if it's stuck, it's much harder to answer than Magus, especially with Paths in his deck. So, I mean, the game really turned here because of my misplays. He could theoretically have another leak up, which would have been just devastating for us. And thinking of the things not wasting the bolt on it is the fact that I had a Goyf there, and the idea is to stick a Blood Moon and or Magus and then land Tarmogoyf. And once again, Blood Moon should have been the play. My original thinking was if he had a leak, I'd rather he leak the Magus because the Blood Moon will be harder to cast. But Blood Moon is just more of a just win now card. So I really should have gone Blood Moon, but I believe I went Magus also to get a couple extra power on the board here. And it stuck because, of course, he had the path, and that's another misplay. But despite two or three pretty big misplays at this point, we're still in this game. He gets us down pretty low here, and he rips another path. So we're cold in the water unless we draw a creature here in 2 turns. But we do get to stick our Blood Moon and lock him out at this point. And the odds of his path, finding another path, is pretty slim. We have the answer, luckily. So at this point we need a creature. We did have 2 turns, so luckily we ripped a bolt. He wasn't the only one ripping like a champ. We get rid of it, and he's locked out, and now he needs enchantment removal to win the game. We rip gas, and it's pretty over at this point unless he has another wrath effect. He did rip another path, I forgot about that. So, but it's too little too late. Probably would have been smart to hold the shaman. Or not. It would be it's good to kill him as fast as we can at this point. Because obviously that was a 2-turn clock. So that's what the deck does. It accomplishes that versus, like I said, 60, 70, 80, even 90% of the field. On any given day. I went through the PTQs, and 5 out of the 64 decks through 2 days were basically like an all basic land deck. So the deck uses powerful cards, and it's still improving. If you have any ideas, let me know, and I hope you enjoy the deck. Hope to see you in some dailies with it.